Hi guys, welcome back to Ravaridi eLearn.
So, we are learning a module called SAP ABAP, okay, where ABAP stands for Advanced Business Application Programming Language, which runs on RDBMS. RDBMS means database management, relational database management, where we are going to learn basic coding. Okay, so when I say coding, do you have any prior exposure to learn coding? So for ABAP, I can say it's not required. Anyone, anyone from any kind of background, they can easily learn ABAP. In fact, it's not a difficult language to learn like Java, C, C++. It's all about simple select queries. How are you going to get the data from the database tables, and how are you going to represent it in user defined format? So what are we going to do? What kind of coding we are going to perform here in this training? It's all about simple select queries. Okay, so this is not a simple graphical user interface, just go and do something, but you need to do some part of coding. Okay, so before going deeper into the coding, before going deeper into the ABAP module, first of all, we need to understand the basic concept of ERP. Okay, so you can see here where I'm working in the ERP sphere. Okay, I can say ERP means enterprise resource planning. So you do have multiple technologies in IT. You do have various technologies available. Okay, someone says they are working, they normally call that one as a platform, right? Someone says they are working in Java, someone says they are working in Oracle, someone says they are working in AI. Okay, someone says they are working in Python. Okay, so like that you have various technologies are there, so out of which ERP, again, it's a kind of a technology platform, and it's a methodology, okay, which talks more about the enterprise resource planning. So first of all, before going further into the ABAP module, this is what our ultimate goal is: to learn ABAP with a primary focus of focusing more on the HCM functional area. So though we are learning ABAP, the training session what we are conducting that focuses more on the HCM functional area. So after this training, you all will be placed as HCM ABAP consultants. So ABAP has multiple streams inside that one, and one of the stream is a HCM ABAP consultant. When I say HCM ABAP consultant, it's a technical role. Okay, is it clear to all of you? One can unmute and say yes or no. So not everyone one can take
Yes,
that
sir.
lead. Yeah, yep, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. You can mute yourself. Now, how many days it is going to take to become a HCM ABAP consultant at the basic level? Okay, first of all, we are going to learn the basic select queries, as I said. Then we slowly progress towards different topics. So within, can you mute yourself? Okay, so I'm getting echo. So now how many days it is going to take to understand these concepts, and at least at a basic intermediate level? So it is going to take minimum 70 to 90 days of time. Okay, so then regularly we need to meet daily 1 hour theoretical session, and with the next half an hour we are going to do practicals on that. Okay, so It's not about only the theory part, so it's all about the coding. Okay, so first 70 to 90 days you focus on the coding. And when I say coding, don't be afraid. It's not complicated at all. It's all, simple fun learning activity. Slowly we are going to progress towards the complicated stuff of the coding, but initial 1 month it's all about, as you might have, some might have been coming from the engineering background, or some might have been coming from the BSc MSc computers background. Okay, for all those guys, it's a kind of curriculum what you might have been done as a part of your studies, how you learn C, CPP, like that. ABAP is also a programming language. So the primary focus would be learning the ABAP skill set with a focus on the HCM functional area. So we talk more about in coming sessions why we need to focus more on the functional area. Unlike other programming languages, until unless you don't understand the underlying business stuff what is happening, it's very much difficult to cultivate yourself as a good consultant. So normally we call the technical people in SAP as consultants, not a mere developer or a programmer. Consultant means the person who is going to interact with the business, who is going to interact with the functional flows in order to get to know what is his deliverables, how he is going to deliver the objects as per the business needs. So if you if you know the technical language, the technical part of the things, it's not sufficient to make yourself as a consultant. Consultant means who can understand the business logic along with the technical knowledge. So the person, we call that one as a technical consultant. Okay, business consultant is another role, which is a functional role, who is going to discuss with the business means client, to understand what they are going to do inside their organization, how he is going to help them to achieve the deliverables. So what are we going to focus in this course section? We are working on a functional area called HCM functional area. So we are going to understand the basic concepts of the HCM functional area, and we are trying to get to know what kind of requirements, what kind of design required for the client, and how are we going to achieve it with our skill set. So our focus is to help the client, to help the business. And who is the business? I mentioned here, see, if you see, I worked with multiple clients across the globe. You can see I worked with pharma, I worked with oil and gas industry, digital technology, and FMCG clients, and lot more in the HCM sphere. So I worked on the HCM implementations as a architect with my technical and functional knowledge. Now if I say pharma is a company. So if you see across the globe, you have multiple clients are available, business is available. You can, if you want me to name it from Indian sector, you can take Reddy's, you can take Arabindo. Okay, or across the globe, if you ask me, you can take Eli Lilly, Pfizer. These are all the business which are focusing on the pharma industry. Similarly, if you take Sony, okay, which is a digital technology industry. Similarly, FMCG, you can take Nestle is a best example. So all these people implemented ERP inside their industry. Okay, so when they implemented ERP is huge and vast. I'm going to cover what is meant by an ERP and how the evaluation happened for the ERP at later stages of this session. But we are not we don't worry, we are not going to cover all ERP topics. We are only focusing on a bit of the ERP, that is the HCM implementations. Okay, so having said that, let's quickly move towards understanding the concept of ERP. Okay, what is meant when ERP? Why ERP is required? Why we need to implement ERP in our organization? And how are we going to implement HCM or HR? Okay, earlier we used to call that one as human resources. Now we are calling that one as, coining the terminology as human capital management. So if I say HR or if I say HCM, both are one and the same. HR is the human resources, and we are we converted that one as a HCM, human capital management. So what is the difference between HR and HCM? Technically speaking, there is not that much difference. It's a just coining the terminology as a capital management. Okay, so of late companies, they are treating the human resources also as a capital gain. Earlier, they considered human resources as a liability to the company. So in their accounts, balance sheets, and all, they maintain how much expenditure we spent on the humans. Okay, that's the reason they used to call the term human resources. Now, of late, by considering the volume and by considering the resource strength and the skill set strength and all, now we are calling that one as human capital management. That means this is also a gain to the company, resources also a gain to the company, so let's call them as human capital management. So that's the reason nowadays wherever you see, we are coining the, instead of HR, we are coining the terminology HCM. That's the only difference. So having said that, let's go and focus more on the part terminology, which is ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning. So I'll go very slow and I'll go in depth in order to understand the basic technical jargons at earlier days of the session, training session. Slowly we increase the speed. Okay, if you guys already aware of these topics and it's quite boring, bear with me, because I need to cater to the large section of the people. Okay, so what first we should understand, what are we trying to do, what are we going to achieve, what is our end goal. I'm again reiterating the same stuff. Our end goal is to become HCM technical consultant, ABAP HCM technical consultant. That is our end target. Okay, so we are going to become a good ABAP HCM technical consultant. That is our end target. So in order to reach this goal, what we need to understand? We need to understand ABAP. So ABAP is a, anyone has any query?
No, sir.
Okay. So can you just go on mute? I'm getting a lot of echo if someone is open there. So if you want to speak, just interrupt me. I'll give you some time. Otherwise, please go on mute. Sorry guys. Sorry guys. Are you guys listening to me? Am I audible? Can you just mute
Yes, sir.
yourself, please?
Yes, you are audible.
No, no. Someone is unmuted. Can you just go on mute? I don't know. I see. I can't really, focus on you guys. Can you guys go on mute? If you have any query, you can unmute yourself. Otherwise, please go on mute. Okay, thank you. If you guys have any query, just stop me. You can unmute yourself and pose your query. Otherwise, be on mute. Okay, thanks. So our end goal is to become HCM ABAP technical consultant. Okay, so how can we become HCM ABAP technical consultant? Step one, you need to understand the basic programming of the ABAP language. So is it a open source? How can I learn ABAP language? No, ABAP language is a property of SAP. Okay, so now before going to ABAP, you should know what is SAP. Okay, so before going to SAP is a product. Okay, so where this product originated from, what is meant by SAP, why we need to learn SAP, that is the next query. SAP is a ERP tool. Okay, so then we should start our journey learning basics about ERP, and slowly we should move towards the SAP. You need to understand what is SAP, why we need to learn SAP. Then we should start learning about the technical skill set ABAP for one initial 1 month time frame. So initial 30 days we are going to learn ABAP. Then we are trying to learn the functional aspects of the HCM module, basic functional modules of the HCM module, in order to start our journey as a HCM ABAP consultant. So this is our journey. So initially we focus on the ERP to understand the technical jargons of ERP. What is meant by ERP? Why we need to learn ERP? And what is the market of ERP? Okay, if I secure a job in the ERP, what is my long term goals, long term achievements, where I can land. So because if I want to learn something, I should know the scope of the module, right? If I want to learn Java, if I want to learn Python, I should know where I can end up, right? So why I'm learning this one, that is the first query that should come in our mind. Obviously all you guys also wondering, so why I need to learn ERP? So am I getting anything beneficial out of this one, or it's a simple tool? It's not a simple tool. It has vast modules inside ERP. So once you enter into the world of ERP, there won't be any look back, and you are engaged with your lifetime. Suppose if you want to work for 30 years, you can happily start your journey in ERP and retire as a ERP consultant or architect or whatever role you want to choose at the later stages. Okay, so that much depth ERP has, that much potential ERP has. Now, once we learn ERP, then we slowly start learning. ERP means we are not learning for 20 days or 15 days. It's about 1 hour of the session to get to know what ERP is capable of doing. Then we are going to learn the tool called SAP. Then we focus on the ABAP. So in this next half an hour session, I'm discussing about ERP, enterprise resource planning, and the basics of SAP. So I'll conclude the session once we complete these two topics. From the next session onwards, we focus on the system, how SAP looks like, and what are we going to learn inside SAP. From next session onwards, we are going to focus on the screen. Okay, so before entering into the screen, before going further into the screen, let's focus on learning about ERP and SAP. Okay, so let me just open, give me a second, let me just open another PPT to talk more about ERP and SAP. Give me a second. Now we are there at another slide. Okay, so which talks about the introduction of the ERP software. Okay, so ERP means enterprise resource planning. The terminology enterprise resource planning, if I say enterprise, you consider any big organization. Okay, any private organization, big organization. Okay, you take anything. You take if you want to consider an example, you can take Reliance, or you can take Maruti Suzuki, or for that matter you can take, if it is Bench. Okay, so anything you can consider that one as a enterprise. So ERP is a software system which is going to help the enterprise in such a way that it is going to give a solution, give a software solution to maintain their business, or I can say to run their business. So ERP providers, ERP is a term. Okay, so what is meant by ERP? It's the enterprise resource planning, which is going to help the business in their daily business routines, I can say. What is meant by daily business routines? Someone might be working on inventories, okay, where they need to maintain the goods, where they need to do kind of customer service, where they need to do some kind of finance related services, or they may need to engage their resources, human resources. Okay, suppose I want to get my salary at the end of the month. I have, let's say, take any organization which has more than some 50 to 60,000 employees working under that organization. End of the month, everyone should get their salary. How I am going to generate the salary for the employees? Everything will be maintained under the human resources section. Okay, so this is a software solution which is going to automate the process in order to address their business needs. If I am working on finance, I need to do some kind of automation. If I am working on material management, I need to do some kind of automation. Okay, so for each functional area, if I want to implement some kind of software, I can do that using ERP. Okay, so that is the behind the screens what we are trying to do. We are trying to implement software. That software is known as ERP software. Okay, if SAP is providing the ERP software, so SAP is a vendor. Similarly, Workday is a vendor. Like that, you have multiple ERP service providers are available in the market, and SAP is the global giant to provide that software. Okay, so lot of back end story happened. It was a research and analysis firm, Gartner. It introduced the terminology ERP, and it introduced the ERP systems to cover all the business functions of an enterprise, regardless of the organizations and their character. Anyone, any big business organization can implement ERP. In fact, nowadays non-manufacturing businesses and non-profit NGOs also implement the ERP system. It's wide open. Anyone can implement the ERP system, but the basic funda is they should have some functional area. Why they need to implement ERP inside their organization? The basic funda, they should run for some cause. They might be doing a customer CRM service, they might be doing a manufacturing service, they might be handling their human resources. Okay, so if you have that functional visibility, then easily you can implement ERP software inside your organization. Okay, now when it comes to ERP, without SAP, you can't talk about ERP, because SAP is the market leader in the ERP section. Majority of the ERP business run by SAP. Okay, this is the first runner. 70% of the across the globe, when you implement ERP, the vendor you choose is SAP. So that vast it is, the company. Okay, so which is a European company, so which is headquartered at Waldorf in Germany. And what is meant by SAP? SAP is a system application and products in the data processing. If someone asks you, can you elaborate SAP? Abbreviate SAP. SAP means system applications and products in data processing. So this is the abbreviation of SAP. SAP is a company which is located in Germany. Okay, so it was founded in 1972 by former IBM employees in Germany. Okay, so before 1977 it is called as system analysis and program development, and later on it changed to system applications and products in data processing. Okay, so we talk more about data. Okay, the job, entire job, it runs on the data. That's the reason they mentioned this one as a data processing. Okay, so now how SAP evolved. Okay, so SAP released their first software version in 1979, that is R2 release, two-tier architecture. Okay, we talk more about what is meant by R2 in later stages. Then slowly it progressed, and SAP released their R3 version, advanced client server architecture in 92. And this is the growth of the SAP from past 30 years and more than 30 years. They started somewhere at the R2 at the mid of 80s. Then now in 2000s, the growth is phenomenal in the in this area. Okay, now if you see the evaluation, where are we exactly? Now we are there at the My SAP Business Suite, SAP NetWeaver. Okay, so from R3, lot of progression happened into the cloud environment. Nowadays, everyone talking about the cloud architecture and all. Okay, so SAP also progressed much in the cloud architecture and using the latest technology called HANA and the Fiori applications and all. So everything is cloud now. We started somewhere standalone systems, and now we are there at a place where we can do everything using our mobile applications, using our tablets, without much delay. You can get the desired results. If you have the user ID and credentials, you can use the application while you are traveling. Okay, so if you want to approve something for your employee, as a manager, I'm traveling, I can simply open my mobile app and I can approve the request. And an employee, if he want to submit something, he can do that using his mobile app. So this evaluation, it took almost 30 years. Now everything is in your fingertips. You can do whatever you want, what kind of services you want to get within no time. So that is what about the cloud advantages, and it's at later stages. Okay, so we talk about that one at end of our sessions. After 90 days of our sessions, we can talk about the advancements and all. Okay, so this is basically a three-tier architecture, how it looks like. So what are we going to do, what are we going to achieve, everything relies on this architecture. This is known as an R3 architecture, where you have a database layer, and in middle you have application layer, and you have a presentation layer. If you see this kind of architecture, that is known as R3 architecture. Okay, so you should have three systems. One is the client workstations, that means the end user, where he logs in, that is the client workstation. If he logs in from his laptop, that is a client workstation. And the kind of request what he is sending, he sends to the application layer of the SAP. Then whatever data he wants to retrieve, it will be retrieved from the backend database layer. If you this kind of architecture, that is known as R3 architecture, client, application server, and the database server. If you remember, earlier it started its journey as R2 architecture. If you have only two servers, One is the client server and the other one is the database server, that is known as R2 architecture. Client and server model. You will be having only two architectures, client and database. There won't be any middle layer like this. Then that is a R2 architecture. Earlier days software used this R2 architecture, mainframe and all, but R3 is more reliable. It has its own advantages. That's the reason we use this application layer in middle. So yes, we talk about this one at later stages. Not in a single day we can cover everything. Okay, so the legacy platforms, you see SAP R2 and SAP R3. Now, as I said, why the SAP is so successful? Because SAP integrates everything. Okay, SAP provides, it's a multilingual, the security aspect is also involved. If you implement SAP, inbuilt security concept will also come into picture. What is meant by security? That means suppose you don't want to expose your personal data, your name details, your date of birth details, and your salary details, that should be only visible to you, not everyone across the globe. In fact, your manager also should not able to access your personal data. SAP provides that one. Okay, so if they provided you user ID and password, you can make those kind of restrictions in your employee profile. Don't expose my data to the outside world. So SAP provides that security to you, and it is integrated. Okay, and it can provide multilingual and multi languages, multi currency, everything you can do using SAP. Okay, so slowly we are moving further the R3 architecture, and what are the benefits, how the SAP screen looks like, and all these things we can cover in the later stages. Let me just open another slide to discuss more about the other topics. Give me a sec. I have multiple slides, so where is the next slide? Okay. Okay, now let's focus more on the ERP section. The another slide, it talks more about ERPs. Okay, so as I said, ERP is an enterprise resource planning. And why we need to use ERP? We need to use ERP to integrate our business solutions under one umbrella. Okay, so let's talk about a scenario. Suppose i'm a I'm doing a small scale business where I need to get some. I do have one small business unit, car business unit is there for me. So I normally, I'm a distributor. Okay, so I just need to go and talk to the manufacturer who produces cars. Let's say I just went to some company, car manufacturer company, just want to get a deal with them, a sign a service agreement for them in order to deliver my cars. So when I approach the company, okay, then they are not into ERP. In fact, they are not into ERP. They are running their software in different platforms. When I approach them, I ask them, I need to deliver 50 cars, and I just went to my Hyderabad manufacturing unit. I asked them, I need to deliver 50 cars. How quick I can get the 50 cars? Then the manufacturer, there is a CRM team available. The customer relationship manager approached me and he said, yeah, we can deliver you 50 cars. Let me just go back and verify how quickly I can give you deliverables. Then he went and he should approach to some other person. He is not the correct person to give me the answer. The CRM flow should go and talk to the sales head, saying like, we need to deliver 50 cars. How much is the budget for the 50 cars, and how much we should quote to deliver those 50 cars, let's say by the end of July month. Then the sales head should go back and talk to the manufacturing unit head, asking him how quickly I can get the units. Then the manufacturing unit should go back and ask to the the inventory department, do we have the cars available? The inventory had replied to him saying, yes, we do have 25 cars available at this moment. We can deliver it by tomorrow itself. But for the remaining 25 cars, we need to manufacture them. So it's a big story. How to manufacture the 25 cars, then n number of other business functional heads should come into picture, and we should agree on those things, and we should give the end user to me how soon they can deliver me the 25 units. Here the gap, where the gap lies, if you are not implementing your entire business inside one software, then there is a very big mess. Suppose if my manufacturing unit running on some application, JDBC application, and my finance department is running on some Oracle application, and my CRM department using simple Excel sheets, Microsoft Excel sheets, how can all of these flows collaborate themselves? So the thing here, the main point here, why we need to implement ERP inside my organization, because you should have the seamless integration across all the business areas. If I say business functional area, finance is a functional area, CRM is a functional area, HR is a functional area. So you should have a seamless integration. So this is the main concept to implement ERP inside your organization. Take any big organization. The Amazon, it has its own ERP. Flipkart, it has its own ERP. Okay. Somebody might be using Workday as their ERP. Somebody might be using SAP as their ERP. Somebody might be using Oracle applications as their ERP. Okay, everyone are in the ERP business. Everyone implemented their ERP, but vendor may differ. How do we have different vendors for our internet connectivity? Someone may use Geo, someone may use Vodafone, or someone may use something else. Okay, Airtel. Like that, ERP also multiple vendors are available. Out of which SAP is the giant in the ERP market. But one or the other ERP software should be implemented inside the organization in order to get the seamless business integration. Okay, normally all ERP packages runs in the relational database management system. Okay, so replaces countless departmental and work group into the integrated system. So that is the advantages of ERP. So as I said, it links the business processes, it maintains the audit trail, utilizes the common information across the business functional areas. Okay, so all these things can be implemented using the ERP. Okay, difficult to implement correctly. So it teaches the performance, it is just the process. Okay, it again the evaluation, it started somewhere at the inventory control, then it moved towards the material management planning. In fact, ERP terminology derived from this material recruitment planning. Then in 1990s extended its wings towards the other business sections. It started with material recruitment, then extended its wings, then it became ERP. If you are only implementing on the material management, this is the only terminology earlier days, still 1970s. From 1990s, ERP extended its wings to other business areas, then it became the terminology ERP. Now, where are we today? Today we are there at the web enabled ERP. That means we are there at the cloud. So it started somewhere from the standalone system. Today we are there at the web enabled ERP. We are there at the cloud technology. So now ERP, you can visualize ERP in the cloud environment as well. Okay, so Workday, it runs on the cloud architecture. SAP, it runs on the cloud architecture. Oracle, it runs on the cloud architecture. Everything moved towards the cloud now. That's what it is saying as on today. Okay, now here it is talking about what is the state of the market. Okay, so a lot of progress happened in this one. This is all the kind of the screenshots and all. It talks about the ERP market, how it got evaluated from the weak economy to the strong economy. Okay, linking ERPs to the web services and all those things. So it's a kind of quite extended advanced topics now. So what is the growth of the ERP? You can see BAN is a vendor, PeopleSoft is a vendor, Oracle Labs is a vendor. You can see multiple vendors are there in the ERP market. Okay, now there are some kind of graphical representations also. Okay, so now in order to visualize the financial aspects of that one, what is the market of SAP, what is the market of PeopleSoft, if you just Google it, you will come to know the market, how much share, major share SAP has inside the ERP market. Okay, so how it is progressing, it is progressing quite rapidly. And the market is quite huge for the SAP consultants. It's there in all business areas. SAP is the only market chain where it has its footprints in all business areas. Okay, you name any business area, SAP is there, presence is there, SAP's presence is there in that business area. Okay, so that much wide market SAP has. And again, when it comes to the job security and all, SAP provides, it provides a lot of job security. See, I started my career early 2018 years of experience. So still I'm working in SAP architect. You can imagine, so the longevity, if a person enters as a layman in the SAP sector, and now where he transforms into, it's a phenomenal journey for anyone who started their career in early 2000. Still SAP is doing very good in the market. It itself talks about the SAP market range and the job security and all. Okay, now this is the integration model, which talks about how we can integrate, as I was mentioned in my earlier lecture, that we need to integrate all the core functional areas. Here you can see how we can integrate the core functional areas. Okay, so project management system, controlling, finance, and material management, and quality management, human resources, these are all the business wings. We can integrate all these things using the RT architecture and using the ABAP language. Okay, you can effectively utilize this ABAP language to communicate with the human resources, to communicate with finance, sales and distribution, material management, everything. That's the reason in this picture you can see at the middle of the graphic. Okay, using ABAP as a core language, you can talk to all these business systems. Okay, using ABAP you can effectively communicate with the cloud system. So nowadays we are moving towards the cloud. So the mere purpose of the ERP, as I said, you need to integrate all the business. Earlier I was saying one scenario. Once you implement ERP, let's say SAP you implemented, suppose I went to the CRM department of the manufacturing using it. Again, once they implemented SAP, simply the CRM guy can go back into their software system and he can let me know the current state of the inventory. Within no time, he can give me an answer. For him, no need to go back and check with everyone. He can simply go back to the software, which is the data is available inside the database tables. He can give me the records, he can give me the report, a beautiful report within no time. Within, let's say, within 10 minutes, he can give me the, he can pull the report back using the report tool. He can give me the answer. Okay, so I do have 25 car units are already available, and I can get it delivered by today EOD, and remaining 25 units, it is going to take 30 days time. So by so and so time, if you are going to sign me with the agreement and with the deposit advance, so I can deliver you all the units by the end of July. So life makes so easier when you implement ERP. The life of organization, it becomes so easier. You can get the seamless integration and real time answers within no time. So that's what we are going to do as a part of ERP consultants. So all these things talks more about get going deeper knowledge. How are we going to achieve this one? So where are we focusing? And remember, in this curriculum, we are not going to learn all these topics. We focus only on the HR module, human resources. How can we develop reports using the human resources? What kind of reports you may require as a HR? Like someone may want their pay slip, someone may want how many days of leave in the current month they can take. Someone may want what kind of next appraisal cycle, how much compensation I am going to get. Okay, so many queries will be there for each individual employee. If you want to update your address, you need to make use of the software. Okay, that is known as employee self-service. Okay, or some kind of complicated scenario. Suppose I want to implement for the benefit of my employees, organization decided to implement a pension scheme. Okay, what kind of pension scheme it is? If the employee enrolled in my organization, he completed 1 year, he is eligible to get a lump sum amount of, let's say, 5 lakhs when he completes his service of 5 years. Okay, that is a new plan introduced by my organization. Now how can that organization implement that one? The organization using the SAP software as an ERP, so they can approach to the SAP HCM consultants to implement that one. So now your presence is required because you are the person who is going to develop the requirement into a report. Okay, because you are the person who is going to do the coding for that one. Now you should do the code in such a way that how many employees in your organization completed 1 year, how many employees are eligible to opt that pension scheme. So this is a business requirement. Your job is to accomplish that business requirement using your technical coding. So that's where we require for the organization. If as organization implemented ERP means, that is not the organization people who are working on the SAP platform. That is us, who are working on the organization. For them, we are helping them. We are helping them as a subject matter experts to maintain their system in SAP. That is for maintenance, application maintenance, to deliver their objects, to deliver their business requirements using the software solution called SAP. Okay, so I think I'm clear on what I need to deliver in today's session. Okay, and if you guys have any further queries, you can approach to me in the next session. So I go very slow for initial 1 week, and I'm flexible. If all of you guys want me to teach in local language, that is okay with me. Or if you are okay, comfortable learning the course in a in business language, that is also fine with me. Okay, but I go very slow, and my motive is to get all of you aware of what we are trying to do and how successful you guys will become as a SAP consultant in the future. And trust me, once you enroll this course, there won't be any look back, and you can easily survive in the SAP market for more than 2 to 3 decades. Okay, so this is not a mere statement, because if you see the journey of mine or the folks like already working, you will get to know. So the people who started their career in 99, still they are working in SAP. Okay, the people who started in mid 2000, still they are working in SAP. They start their career as SAP, they retire as a SAP consultant. So that's the advantage of choosing this ERP technology. And you can cross skill yourself. I started my career as a SAP technical consultant, then I cross skilled myself in various ERP technologies in the cloud platform. Now I can implement Workday solution in the HCM sphere. I can implement SAP solution in the SAP sphere. I can integrate SAP, Workday, Oracle applications, all these things. So you can do a lot of cross skilling in the ERP section. Okay, so a lot of benefits are there, and a lot of documentation is there. When it comes to the training and the documentation and all those, I do have a lot of documentation on daily basis. I can share it with you. And I teach basics, the coding basics from very very fundamental level, so that you can easily develop your own code. After the session completes, you can easily go back to the system and start developing your code effectively. And don't worry much about the coding, it's fun learning. In fact, coding is fun learning. We will start with very much basics, how to add two integers or how to print your name. From there we start this session. For initial 30 days it would be very much basics. How strong you become in the coding, that much confident you are going to gain at the later stages of the course, and you can easily convert yourself as a good technical consultant. Okay, so now I'm wide open to answer your queries. If you guys have any queries, you can ask me.
Thanks,
I
Venkat.
stopped sharing. Yep.
Yeah, thank you. So I had a couple of questions. Sorry to bother you
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, no
So
problem, no problem.
I just wanted to know how the market for SAP ABAP HR for freshers, maybe less than 1 year or 2 years gap.
Yeah, see, market starts for, in fact, for freshers also you do have openings, but from 2 years, okay, at least you should have minimum 2 years of, not only in ABAP HR, but especially in ABAP HR, there is a serious resource crunch, like so many, like we are not figuring out the sound people in the HCM ABAP, area. If you Google it, so many openings are there, people are less in this area. So in one side you are going to get a lot of openings and a lot of people are and one side you have a kind of resource shortage in HCM ABAP. From 2+ years you are going to get calls, and with a minimal package, somewhere for the 2 years, how much you are going to expect, that much package you are going to get easily.
Okay.
Market is quite good. Okay, in fact market is quite good.
Okay. So once we start with our course, we may need
Mm-hmm.
to have our
Mm-hmm.
system is ready, right? So do we need to
Mm.
have desktop or laptop is mandatory?
I prefer using laptop. Okay, so but if you want to use it in desktop, that's up to your wish. There is no hardened like you should only use laptop. You can use desktop also, but you should have the SAP software installed, GUI installed, and we will be going to provide you the system access and all. No need to bother about that one. So we will get you the system access, the URLs, whatever it is required. I'll let you know how to install the GUI and how to do the practice from day easy. So you can easily get the system access and start doing the activities from day one itself. It's
Okay.
up to you, but
And
I
maybe
prefer laptop. I prefer laptop with the dedicated net connectivity. Okay, don't use this mobile net and all. It's quite slow, and as the GUI requires some minimal, like any kind of minimal configuration, that is fine and enough. But I prefer using the broadband connection in order to do your activities, because you need to spend more than at least on a weekly basis, I can say you should minimum spend 8 to 10 hours, okay, on weekly basis. If you are working, if you are working, at least you should practice Saturdays and Sundays dedicatedly, okay, otherwise
No.
it's quite difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Venkat. Maybe this is my
Hmm.
last question. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
what kind of how much hardware we require? Let's say, for example, 4 GB RAM or 8 GB RAM and 500 or 256 GB hard disk is enough.
Nowadays you are all getting SS and all, right? So I believe
Right.
it's up. I say minimum 256 is fine, and nowadays we are getting with 500 hard disk, right? So 504 GB is enough.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Venkat.
504 GB, 4 GB, that is, minimum requirements for that. Yep.
Yeah.
Any other query?
I I'm done. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks.
And Swami here.
Yeah,
Thanks for
yeah.
the demo. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I do have a small question that are we using any, I mean, particular application which is from SAP, or we should design something? I mean, you told that we should write it in a code, right? I mean, a code way.
Yeah, in a code way, where are we developing that code in the SAP software? So everything is predefined. We are working on SAP software, which is an ERP tool. So we'll be having the software. We need to install that
Oh,
software and use that. Inside that software only we are going to develop the code.
okay, like a queries.
Like queries, yes,
Yes,
it's
got
it's
it.
not a it's not a open tool. It's not a open tool, so we should install
Okay,
the GUI, and then
okay.
we should have the dedicated
That's
user
where
ID
I'm
and
thinking.
password.
Yeah. I'll,
Yeah, yeah,
okay, got.
yeah.
I, I,
So i will
got.
i will show you that one. I will, in fact, now itself as your query. So many people
Okay.
has the
What
same
what the
query.
data we need to help our
Hmm.
within organization? So
Hmm.
we'll write the requirement as per in the code, and we'll search it in the application, right? I
Exactly. If you
mean,
can able
feed
to
it.
see, if you can able to see my screen, is it
Yes,
visible? Okay, can you see this icon, SAP Launchpad? So can you see that? Is it
yes. I'm
visible?
able to. Yes,
Okay, great. So this is the GUI app, and where we need to log into the system. Okay, so
okay.
I think earlier I showed this one. Let me just check. Is it opening or not? Can you able to see my screen?
Yes. I'm able to
Can
see
you
your
see
screen.
client? Can you see the client number, user, password?
Yes,
Okay,
in
you
the
you should
connections,
log in
right?
the
Mm.
connections. Yes. Are you? Can you guys able to see the user ID? What I just typed now, everyone? Can you see the screen or not? I don't know whether
It's
am I
it's
sharing the
something kind of blink actually.
Our screen is
okay.
flickering a lot.
Screen. Okay. I think I am facing. Let me just stop sharing and share it again. Okay, I'm there at the launchpad of SAP. Now I'm entering into the software. Able to see the user?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I should provide the user ID and password to log into the system. Okay, so
Now I'm able to see your screen.
great. Okay, this is the application, SAP Easy Access application. Okay, so what I need to do here, what I need to develop here. So for each and everything, there is a window, there is a separate room. Like now, once you enter into your home, okay, then if you want to go into hall, you like how you can go into hall and kitchen, bedroom, like that. You have for each section inside this SAP application, you have a window or a room. So that room, we call that one as a transaction. I need to go to somewhere, then I should use the transaction. If I want to develop something, then I should use one transaction. Okay, here SE stands for System Edition 38. So my room number is 38 now. So if I enter into the room number 38, System Edition 38, okay, where I can develop my code. Okay, this is the simple code
So
I
we'll
just
write it in a
developed for
Go
some.
lang. Which language actually? Could you please let me know this one?
That is known as ABAP, Advanced Business
Okay,
Application
ABAP.
Programming. Okay, we
Okay,
will talk about that. So today I only discussed till the ERPs and why we need SAP. So from tomorrow onwards, we focus more on the SAP, basics, and then we see what language it uses, and also in within one day, in order to collect all the information, it's not possible for any human being, right? So because I am doing this,
apologies. Just,
yeah,
just
for
getting
me,
the
it's like,
overview.
so for me, it's like, so it's habituated, right? I go very fast, like, because for me, where I stand, I think everyone is running behind me. It not happen, right? Like I shared the screens and all, but again, it takes time. That what happens with me also. If I'm trying to learn some new topic, the same story happens. That's the reason I go very slow, and my prime focus. At least you should understand what you are trying to do. Okay, so this is how it goes. Like there are some database tables and all available. How are we going to get the data from the database tables and all, or how are we going to, as I said, we are working more on the HCM part of this one. So what are we going to do here? From this HCM data or HR data, we will see there is a separate room to check the HR data. As I said, there is a separate transaction for that one. So you need to go to inside the transaction in order to check if I have any employee available here. Suppose I am the employee, I need to check my data. So I can check my data. If I have something, it is visible. So I don't know whether this system is equipped with HR data. So tomorrow I will see. I'll